and a half, they don't know really because they forget all the names that began with an O. And this became, from what I understand, became a tradition from a hastily put together, let's have a pig, and it was delivered or something. And then the next year they said, let's have our own. And then they began with those. I think everybody had Cheerios one day and said, let's start with an O. And named the pig, all these years. Well, this year we have something different. Today we're gathered here not to marry any pigs. Today we're here to send off a good friend. I call him now, just call me Bruce. Although we didn't know you before you found the hook in the slaughterhouse, we had an endearing time with you since all night. Hoping the night wasn't too cold. We made it not as cold for you as normal. I had a researcher in my hometown now. I live in Barstow, Alaska. I do come from North Carolina though, but it kicked me out here. I lost my license. Her name's Miss Evelyn Wormley, and she found out all she could about this pig in his life. This pig wasn't always known as just call me Bruce. He was born, and they didn't know what to name the pig because he was so cute. And they always saw little rump was so pink and everything. So you said, well, you know what? We like that pig. We're going to call him fourth one on the left. That was always where he lined up on his mama's teeth. He resided at Poppy Polk's Petting Farm and Medical Aids Equipment Farmers Market. He was introduced to the petting zoo, and he instantly became a sorrowful thing, because it seems the fourth one on the left had a hankering for smelly, disgusting things. Well, farts. And all the people that used to come to Poppy Polk's Petting Zoo and Medical Aids Farmer Market didn't come anymore. Poppy Polk was getting poor. Well, the decent folks like tourists were not coming. So Poppy Polk could no longer stand this stuff. So what he did was, he was getting ridiculed, and the pig was just giving him, he tried to sell them, nobody wanted to buy them, and everybody did arcs around his farm because they did a stinky farm. They put up vandalism signs, they cut his corn down, people would poop on his farm and everything, So anyway, the people stayed in their houses, and the town wanted to get them out of the town because they couldn't even come out of their houses when the wind was right. Kind of like the dump at home, at your home. So, a group of them, now, this can't be confirmed because, kind of like a Disney movie, right? A group of other animals wanted to help them out. So Hermie the horse and, what was his name? The horse wasn't really he was kind of like an old donkey. Gladys the hen and Bruce the squirrel got together and gave fourth pig on the left a chance to get away on his own. Seems they scared Elmer the cow. I thought Elmer was a milk cow. Anyway, told fourth pig on the left, go! So he was saying his goodbyes in the middle of the road, and a truck came by and squished Bruce the squirrel. They all cried and everything else. They spent too much time there. The sheriff pulled up and said, Poppy Polk, we need to get this pig out of here right now. It's just too much. So, the pig farted again. He gave the sheriff's a flat tire, and his deputy had to come with a box trailer. Poppy Polk was glad the town was doing something, so he just stood by. And they were putting them in and closing the box, and the sheriff said, what's this pig's name? Fourth pig on a what? And the sheriff just looked sorrowful at the road, and he goes, just call him Bruce. It's a squirrel, yeah, a Bruce squirrel by the name of Bruce. He was a pain in the ass. So he said, you know what, that name don't live on, so just call him Bruce. So they drove 115 miles and 115 and 3/8 miles to the state line, and the farmer let him out with a couple of gunshots and go, get out of here, stink up the next state. He traveled far and wide. He lost the farting problem along the way. It indicates that a doctor could fill the foot helped him out. Just Call Me Bruce was homeless for a while. He was living in a box behind a Tasty Freeze. And he got a job at Walmart over in New Jersey pulling stock carts at night. He was also a Crime Watch member and a depression line counselor. He walked away from it all one day when someone invited him to a resort. And he thought this was great. You know what? I believe my life on this end. Walmart, they're giving me everything for free and stuff. I eat all the stuff in the back. This is really great. And he said, I'm going to this resort. Where do I go? So him and a buddy, he didn't know, and he got to know this buddy real good in this long 4-hour ride in this box truck with seats. So he ended up as a resort, and he was eating and slopping his way to his present size. And the last thing in the record says here, he was invited to a party. So we know next to kin, we say to you, just call me Bruce, that your greatest accomplishment is coming soon. All we can say is, wait, we sure got over that smelly stage. Anybody else got anything to say?
Amen.
Amen. So let us say everything that, thank you, Bruce. So, with all that being said, amen. Let's have a party!